Corey will make that save or they'll get a block out in front. When they were struggling, they were giving it up. At the start of the season, they were giving up a lot of point shots and a ton of goals from the top of the near the blue line. And then they made a lot of adjustments to, like they would have Kruger, or we saw Dennis Rasmussen pressure that point man a lot more. And I think they've kind of come back to what they were doing originally. And you're seeing a lot of more shots from farther out on Corey. And if they're not clearing out the front of the net, like we saw tonight, Lucic did a really good job screening Crawford. McDavid did a good job screening Crawford too. When that happens, that's where the goals come from. So,
well, there is Marian Hossa, who's been very good. So I want to continue to just harp on how good he's been and how he's been rejuvenated. Mm-hmm. Currently third in goals in the league. That's something else for
Shocking.
Marian Hossa. So that's like your little positive tidbit leaving this segment. So be happy, because Marian Hossa is a very lovable human being, and we're happy for him.
I love him.
So this California swing. So they're out of Canada, finally.
Thank God.
And they play San Jose Wednesday, Anaheim Friday, and the Kings on Saturday. And 6 games in 9 days. That's a tough stretch.
Yes.
Especially going out west to back home.
Yeah, exactly.
That's tough.
I'm not sure like why the NHL even allowed this. That's a lot of games in 9 days for hockey. I was looking at the schedule. I was like, another back-to-back Friday, Saturday, and a game on Wednesday. But you got to play the games on your schedule. Usually, or you get a forfeit, which you don't. You don't want that.
The Blackhawks will not forfeit any of these games. I'm going to tell you right now. Hot take, I know, but
they can't. I mean, I don't know what you call tonight.
Forfeit.
They might.
They forfeited.
They basically forfeited tonight, but
way to go, Blackhawks! Prove me wrong yet again. You jerks. All right, some brief Cubbies stuff here. Not a lot going on because it's kind of like the dead zone right now, off season.
Yeah, we're in that spot right before winter meetings, but right after the season ended too. So like, there's not a lot going on. I mean,
soon
free agency has started, and there's been a couple. Josh Reddick signed somewhere. And he signed with the Braves, I think.
I don't know. I know Bartolo signed with the Braves.
The Braves
have
done
the most important signing that the Braves
stuff.
have ever done in their franchise history, signing Bartolo Colon.
A 44-year-old man.
Because why not?
Yeah, I'm all about it.
Hey, if the Cubs signed Bartolo Colon, would you be mad?
No.
Neither would I.
He's actually productive. I mean, we'll see if that continues, but yeah, right now he's a productive player.
Bartolo's the man.
I love him. I love you, Bartolo.
So I saw this interesting thing on an article on FanRag Sports. Shout out to them. Good website, good people working over there, for sure. A lot of good follows on Twitter if you want to check that out. Talking about Javier Baez's role next season for the Cubs. Is he going to have a definitive role? They're going to just plug him into that second base spot? Is there still hope for him in the outfield? Or is he going to be that utility guy? And I think that's an interesting topic of conversation. For me, and I think we both kind of are on the same page about this, it doesn't matter where you play him as long as you play him.
Yes.
If Addison needs a day off at short, you play him at short. If Zobrist is playing the outfield, you play him at second base. If you really want to test your luck and throw him out in the outfield, you can. So for me, it doesn't really matter where he plays as long as he plays. And I think the Cubs would be absolutely nuts to trade this guy.
Bonkers.
Right now. However, I'm going to throw this at you.
Oh no.
If the Rays were coming at you with Chris Archer on the table and Javier Baez is a part of that deal,
yeah,
do you do it?
Well, this is a really tough one because Chris Archer might be the one guy. Maybe like a Chris Sale or something too. Someone, one of those elite pitchers. But Chris Archer's been a guy, not just me, a lot of Cubs fans have been at least keeping an eye on. If that's the scenario, I mean, probably, because because Chris Archer is just, you can't undervalue a really good young pitcher like Chris Archer. But it seems like Javi is just, his potential is so high, and his ceiling is just so high. So, be very cautious whatever you do with Javi. If you're going to trade him, make sure you're getting an amazing piece back that will produce. Like you have to make sure you're getting something back.
Well, Chris Archer had a down year last year.
Yeah.
That's a
fact.
Yes,
he did.
No way around it. He had a tough time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still reluctant to do that.
Yeah.
I understand the Cubs they're always looking for pitching. That's like one of their mantras. You can never have enough good pitching. Accurate. See how it worked out for them this year, winning the World Series.
Yeah.
They still want that cost-controlled starter. They're still kind of looking for that cost-controlled starter. They may have gotten it in Mike Montgomery.
Yeah.
We'll see. There's a lot of questions around that. He's going to be your fifth guy
Mm-hmm.
with Hamill gone, unless they go out and they get someone else.
Yeah.
There's some prospects that, especially Eloy Jimenez, who could play the middle infield, who is going to be a stud in this league, no doubt. They traded away Gleyber Torres for Chapman.
Yes.
That's
I miss Torres.
I do too. He's going to be very good.
I'm going to have fun watching him.
Arizona Fall League MVP.
Here's the thing. I'll go on a little tangent just real quick, and then I'll let you get back to your point. But even if he has an amazing career with the Yankees, I think I'll sit back and enjoy the whole thing, knowing that trade, I wouldn't say won us the championship, but I mean, we wouldn't have won it without it. So
absolutely. There's some people who have argued like, oh, we could have won without Chapman. BS.
Yeah,
absolute BS.
No chance.
Nope. Good move. It's over. It stinks that
It's over and
he's
done
gone.
with. Yeah, he'll have a great career, but we won the World Series.
Eloy's coming, and he's good too. He's very good.
Yeah.
And you got to get an absolute stud to trade Javier Baez. To answer and kind of respond to this FanRag Sports article, I think Javi's your everyday second baseman.
Yeah, I'm 1,000% agree with you there.
He's too good not to put in that middle infield with Addison Russell. No one's getting hit up the middle. And just the defense right there is so crucial to his team. Even if Javi has the occasional Javi moment where he does something dumb, it's all out of instinct, which I love. I'd rather have a player play without fear than be scared of the mistake he's going to make.
Yeah, those guys who rely on instincts make the crazy plays that only guys like that can make.
Lindor is another one of those guys. We saw that in the World Series.
Yeah, those two guys are very similar too, I would say.
Lindor is easily one of my top 5 favorite players.
Yeah, I didn't know a whole lot about Lindor. I knew he was a good player, but after that postseason run, I'm all about him. He's a great guy and a great player.
Dexter Fowler, Blake. There's some big sigh from Blake. The dude's going to get paid. We talked about it last week. Blue Jays are now targeting Dex. They're looking for that leadoff guy. I'm going to play the outfield. And Dex is that.
Yeah.
So, some rumors around there that Dex will get a 4 or 5 year deal. Preferably from his end, him and his agent, his family. They deserve it. There's no way around it. But the Blue Jays have now kind of thrown their hat in the ring. I think that's a possibility. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like he's going to get a ton of suitors. I think more than even we're expecting because the market's not great. And he's valuable. And he showed last year he can play elite defense. And he can get on base majority of the time. So I feel like there's a lot of teams that will be looking for that. Blue Jays specifically, it would make sense for sure. So much stuff is up in the air with Dexter Fowler. I don't know. I feel like he will sign quicker than he did last year, but I feel like his value even rising more than last year. He had a good 2015. He had an even better 2016. And I think teams, realized he was such a big part of the run, all season in general. So I feel like a lot of teams will be suitors for him. And I think we've talked about this a little bit. But, yeah, like his market will be really nice.
Yeah, I just wanted to give people an update on the Dexter Fowler watch.
Yeah.
Because that is the thing. It's on. The Dexter Fowler watch is on. I still think he signs with the Cardinals.
Don't say that.
Which makes Blake want to throw up everywhere, but I think it's just going to happen.
If he's going to sign somewhere else, please go to Canada or something.
Go to any other divisional opponent. Cincinnati, Milwaukee. I don't care. I just have this feeling inside that is telling me the Cardinals.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I don't know.
And I heard Jed Hoyer today on the radio. There's still a possibility he comes back. I mean, obviously...
That'd be a great day.
Probably not in his best interest monetary-wise, but...
Winning.
Winning and being a part of this team, it would, it's not out of the question.
All right, let's get some meatballs here. I'll start with my 2, and then you can get to your 2.
Okay.
I got Kanye West on here for totally canceling the rest of his tour. I heard he was in the hospital today for some odd reason. Yeah, he's in the hospital. I don't know what's going on with him, but you owe Boogie Cousins an apology. I saw Boogie Cousins' Snapchat.
Yeah.
Him being like, Kanye just left, bro. He just walked out. He was at that
concert. I saw that.
And
he's like, hey, guys, sorry, this is over or something.
Yeah, so Kanye just stormed out after
weird
a rant.
Stage, lowered or something like that.
Kanye's a mess. But, he took a break before My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. And, look how that album turned out. It was magnificent. So, Kanye, you might need a little break. Crayon Marshall, awful human being.
Get that guy away.
Don't even get me started on
that guy
Don't even
away
get me
from
started on Crayon Marshall. All right, hit me with your 2 meatballs.
All right, I'll start with our man Jarrell Freeman going on the suspended list for taking some PEDs. So shout outs to you.
No, bad shout outs. He's a meatball. Bad vibes.
Hey, he's a good player.
Even though he messed up his, quote, prescription drugs, end quote.
That's always the excuse. My second meatball, which isn't going to make a lot of sense to 99% of you, Sammy Sosa. I'm
going to explain.
I made some trades.
I'm going to explain. I come over tonight.
Tony Gwynn.
And Blake's playing Ken Griffey Jr. baseball on Nintendo 64. And he is an absolutely stacked Cubs team, making a bunch of trades. And
I'm a future Hall of Fame general manager.
And he's like, I'm going to make another trade. I'm going to trade Sammy Sosa. And he trades our namesake for Tony Gwynn, which is, not a bad trade, but our namesake. The man we aspire to be, maybe not, but our namesake.
You want to be a vampire?
No, I don't want to be a vampire.
Hey, and I just want to say, if you play that game, give me a shout, because that's the best baseball game ever. Don't doubt me.
I won't doubt you.
2005 MVP? No. I know some people will get that reference.
MVP baseball?
MVP baseball, 2005. Not the
Great
best.
Game.
Ken Griffey Jr. Call me Junior.
I got another meatball. It's Blake for just making a bunch of very loud noises, bumping the thing and slamming his phone.
I'm gonna have one more meatball too. It's Drew Edstrom for stopping the program like a unprofessional, and pointing out the things that the people can't see. They might hear it, but they can't see it.
I can see it. It's not pretty.
He's staring right at me.
All right, some shout outs here. DJ Folklore, thank you for your beats. I'm shouting out Sammy Sosa because he's our namesake.
He's on the Padres now.
Beefton Scoville, our buddy. Ken Griffey Jr. for making a very good baseball game. And Jimmy G. Buckets, Jimmy Butler.
I have one thing I have to say about Beefton.
Go for it.
I heard Beefton Crayon are going to fight each other?
My money's on Beefton. 100% of the time.
Wow.